Chairman of the Board, starring Carrot Top. This is the only movie Carrot Top ever had a leading role in. If you've ever watched this movie, you understand why. Now, this was before Buff Carrot Top, where his voice got deeper and he started doing more edgy material. This is Skinny Carrot Top, where his voice is squeaky and it all looks like kiddie material. But the movie is rated PG-13 and is kind of not appropriate for kids. The movie is rated PG-13 and is made for kids, but is rated PG-13, so you don't know if your kids can watch it. It's kind of a weird thing, because clearly aimed for kids. So it starts out with Carrot Top in the womb, saying how he wants to be an inventor, and then he blows himself out of the womb by mixing chemicals. And if you don't like that joke, you're going to hate the rest of the movie, as I did. And then you see the entrance. If you don't like the entrance, you're going to hate the rest of the movie, which I did. And then we finally meet Carrot Top, who has invented an alarm clock with women's arms touching him and that shoots him out of bed. It is probably the only time when he was skinny Carrot Top that women's arms touched him, or he got any time, or he was able to get out of bed without taking many, many antidepressants. He then took a shower, which we get to see, and we didn't want to see, because not that there's nudity, but just you do not want to see Carrot Top without a shirt on. Then his landlord comes in and says they're 3 months past rent. So Carrot Top goes to try to sell his inventions, because he's an inventor, to Gadget Toys or Gadget Plus or wherever it is. And all of his inventions are just his prop things that he uses in his comedy routine. Needless to say, they turn him down, especially after he releases Killer Bees in the office, which I can see releasing Killer Bees being a no. I mean, that's kind of a tipping point in where you kind of have to say, no, we cannot offer you employment here. So he gets other jobs. He's a crash test dummy. He's a food mascot. He's many, many things, and they're all kind of slapsticky. But he meets Armand, who he helps fix his car, and they go surfing together. And Armand sees his book of inventions and thinks they're brilliant. And then he gets a telegram saying that Armand is dead, which gives Carrot Top a chance to beat up a dead guy. And we meet Larry Miller, Armand's nephew, who wants to inherit the company and sell it to Raquel Welch. I mean, I'd give a lot of things to Raquel Welch, even though she is dead. And we meet Courtney Thorne-Smith, who Larry Miller wants to give a lot of things to. I would also give a lot of things to Courtney Thorne-Smith, because I bet she is still pretty hot. At which point Carrot Top walks in, puts out Armand's eternal flame, then sends Armand's eternal flame to the ceiling, almost lighting the place on fire. And then we find out Armand's nephew gets Armand's surfboard, and Carrot Top gets Armand's company. At which point we get more slapsticky stuff with him going in the company. Until he's taken around the factory And we see Larry Miller get hit in the head for the first time. This happens like 24 times in this movie. He either gets hit in the head or balls. And it just happens over and over and over again. Poor Larry Miller in this movie. And we find out the workers want to strike. And Carrot Top gets covered in sticky notes. So then Carrot Top brings his buddies to work. And he gets the workers' demands. And he cannot meet any of them. Mainly because he doesn't know what he's doing. So he announces Luau Wednesdays, saying, we can't pay you more, we can't give you benefits, we can't give you days off. You're stuck working 60-hour weeks for half the pay you were being paid before. And we can't give you health care, dental, or vision, or days off, or sick days, or vacation days. None of that stuff. But you could have a luau every Wednesday. Yeah, I would have struck at that point. I would have went on strike at that point. But it works, and everybody's happy and productivity's up. Because it's a Carrot Top movie and it's not grounded in reality. And so then Armand takes Carrot Top to the tennis club, where Armand looks at Carrot Top's inventions and says Carrot Top should make them. So Carrot Top makes a TV dinner with a TV in it. And it sells like hotcakes. And the business booms. At which Carrot Top buys everything in sight, including me. So buy this TV with a TV dinner in it. Yeah, you don't see anything? That's because I'm not in this movie. So Armand is hating Carrot Top. And Carrot Top is in his limo with a bowling alley in it. And there is a news report of a guy who says he says he suffered so much radiation from a TV dinner that he now glows green. And so the shares are dropping in what they're worth. And his buddies couldn't get a hold of him to get the money for rent because his check bounced. And so now landlord kicked them out. And the shares drop below $20 a share, and everything goes to Armand, who is now hell-bent on selling the company to Raquel Welch, hoping that he can get some of Raquel Welch. But Carrot Top the next day figures it out after sleeping on the beach and getting pooped on by a bird. Because that's exactly how my thought process needs jumped up by, is being pooped on a bird. Being pooped on by a bird. Armand stole his glow gun to make the guy look real green in the dark. And the TV dinners never emitted that much radiation. So he goes there and gets there just in time. But Armand is wearing the shirt that is a lie detector and makes fart noises when they lie. And Armand lies and they go, oh, tell he's lying. And I don't see anybody anywhere ever wanting to buy this shirt. But anyways. And so Armand gets arrested. And he gets reported to the SEC. Yes, the Southeastern Football Conference. The Southeastern Football Conference, where he will now play for Alabama. Raquel Welch testifies against him. Carrot Top decides to work in research and development. And Natalie, who is Courtney Thorne-Smith's character, I did mention throughout this whole video, is Carrot Top's girlfriend and takes over as chairman of the board. And all ends happily ever after. And hopefully we never have to see Carrot Top in anything again. Unless it's Buff Carrot Top who has a deeper voice. So, this movie is awful. It is awful. Carrot Top's voice gets really, really, really on your nerves. And the movie is awful. Do not watch it under any circumstances. So join me next week. I had an idea going for what I was going to do the wrestling video on, but I do not recall the idea. So it's going to be a surprise. Probably to me as well. And next week's movie is Grizzly 2. The Grizzlying. He fights other grizzlies with swords till he's the only grizzly left. And then he gets the power of the grizzly. So see you next week.